My name is Homer Harrison, and I'm from the Sportsman Park area of Los Angeles. I grew up since the 60s, in and around the park, when there wasn't nothing but some little boys started out, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. We used to play sports and things at the park. And everybody from around the hood, from 5 blocks on either side of the park, went to this one school, and that was Manhattan Place. So basically, the Park Boys, the Sportsman Park Boys of South Central Los Angeles, originated at Manhattan Place Elementary School. There's a lot of future players came out of that school, and everybody that went there was basically a park boy, as was called, as we were called, even though nobody called themselves park boys. That's what it was called. And it was basically a take care of your home turf. That's what it came to. It wasn't like people was roving around looking for this or that. It came to defending your turf. And people was like brothers. You went somewhere and you was there together. And so you defend one another. That's what it came to. There's a lot of special bad dudes from Sportsman Park, like Big Hand John, the one-punch knockout, Lil John, super fast Shorty GT, fastest thing on the west side, shortest and the fastest. Knockout Mike. If he didn't knock you out, it wasn't a success. Shorty Joe GT, he could jump up to a man 6'3" and give him 2 black eyes, a bloody nose, and a busted lip, all in one set. Shorty GT was the fastest on the set for a long time.
What about, was there a guy named Alan Ennis?
Super bad Alan Ennis. He stay all day. He stay all day. Alan Ennis was like, he was like Shorty then, when they was all in the 6th grade, A6 and B6, and we was in the B5. And back then, you know, they said each semester in the A and B. And so with that A and B, it meant a lot to the seniority and all that stuff, even though you was like a year younger or 2. If you was in the B5 and somebody in the B6, then they got a lot of seniority on you. But Alan Ennis, he superseded that. Alan Ennis was so tenacious, he jumped, you know? And so Alan was basically with us. It was me, Ernie, Bub, Alan Ennis, a little dude named Harold. And Alan was so tough. We used to spar at time, but Alan got too tough. And so he went on with the majors. And so Alan would stay all day. I remember him and Monk would squab every party for a while. They'd go to every party and they'd have a nice little squab. And Monk would squab with a couple of dudes. He would always get his squab on with he and Baby Boo, G. Jones. Yeah, he squabbed with them all the time. Monk was always trying to squab. He always wanted to squab.
You talking about Monkey Man from the Hundreds?
Yeah, Little Willie, the one just passed. Yeah.
So you mentioned Bub just a moment ago. So Bub was a part of this circle before he became a West Side Crip?
Yeah. Bub was staying in the 80s.
Ricardo Sims.
Yeah, he was Ricardo Jones at that time. But anyway, he stayed in the 80s down there, you know. But he came to school with us all the way up to Manhattan Place because I think his daddy worked in a shop right there, so he could come to school on Western Avenue in 94th. In a cabinet shop, so he came to school with us up there at Manhattan Place. So basically, he knew all the Park Boys, you know, and we grew up together. But then, like, actually, it was too far to walk past St. Andrews Park to come to Sportsman, and then so he had a pass. You know, he had a pass just by knowing, you know, as far as that was concerned.
So what year was this when you was in the 5th grade when the whole Sportsman Park thing started to really form?
That was 64, yeah. That was 64 for me. Well, I moved over there in 63. Like basically what, well, 63, yeah, 63 and 64. That's when things began to form. Because everybody was the same age. Mothers and fathers didn't have no teenagers. I had a teenage brother, but the rest was about my age, the level. Nobody moved over that old. Everybody had little boys, and we was little boys at the same age. So everything depended on us. We wasn't taking no call from nobody in the hood. Other neighborhoods had older dudes in it because they was old neighborhoods. But we didn't have no older dudes. It wasn't enough to run nothing, so we set the standard. We had some friends down over like straight down the 90s, over near Normandy, like some friends over there. And like they had the Manchester Park area over there, and the Athens Park Boys, and but they wasn't really. That happened later, They got together and became what they were. At least the Athens Park Boys, and yeah, let's see who else was down there. It wasn't no really neighborhoods that I could think of that was saying anything.
What was the Park Boys? Was that something different, or was the Park Boys and Sportsman Park Boys the same thing?
Sportsman Park Boys, one and only. Never nothing else. And it wasn't but one generation of Park Boys that came through there, and that was it.
Was there a guy named Black Broderick?
Yeah, Black Broderick. Yeah, he was original from Manhattan Place. Yeah, Black Broderick, Mark, Danny, the Holmes brothers, Tall Stan.
So who would you say were the original Sportsman Park Boys?
Okay, we got Shorty, Broderick, Danny, Mike, Little John, Big John, Alec, Alan Ennis, Alan Scott. But then there was so many people, like over the years, like there was people, the Adams brothers, they stayed on 96. And like this basically became a thing of like the hood, you know what I mean? People in the hood, it was different little sections, of brothers, that partied together and did things like that. But all those aforementioned names I mentioned, those are the base Park Boys right there.
Now, in the very beginning of the West Side Crips, some West Side Crips actually used to go up to Sportsman Park and hang out.
Yeah.
There was a time where everybody got along.
Yeah, like I say, like Buddha and his family came up there. The Conception brothers came up there, and we all played baseball together. A whole bunch of people came and played baseball, and they was little, like I say, we used to call Buddha Smiley. Little Curtis, he was called Smiley. He'd smile and his eyes squint all up, and somewhere along the way he got Buddha, because he looked like a little Buddha too. And little Mike Conception, he was the little guy, and his brothers, and all them. Lewis and Vic, yeah. It was all there, they come and play. So many.
And some of the original West Side Crips like Judson Baycott, Donald Sweetback, Archie, Big Bob the Hawk. You knew all these guys in the very early years?
Yeah, absolutely. We were little old bitty boys. Like when I first met Donald, him and Erskine came together. Actually, me, Ernie, Bub, I think Cuz might have been with us. I think Cuz came to Manhattan in the last year, I think. A dude named Bagby. We came from Manhattan Place and went to Horace Mann. And when we got there, we hooked up with some other guys. Kimmons came with Larry Kimmons, a dude named Ronnie, and a dude named Steve, a dude named Ronnie, another dude named Ronnie, light-skinned Ronnie. We all hooked up. And that first semester, we was what they call B7 scrubs. That's the first year in junior high school. So we had to band together because we didn't need to get crushed. Some little B7s, they got crushed, and we was crushing them. But we band together, and that's where we learned unity from. That's why they learned unity. And so we was in the B7, then we went to the A7, and here come Donald and Erskine. So Bub brought them in, because they was in Bub's neighborhood. And so he brought them along, and they hooked up with us. And we was organized like that. That's why they were so successful on the West Side. They knew how to organize already. And they wasn't no dummies, because I didn't fool with no dummies.
Who was the leader out of the pack for the West Side West Side Crips, the guys who would become West Side Crips when you was young?
What, out of that batch there?
Yeah.
Wasn't no. Well, I might well say Kimmons was. Larry Kimmons was, yeah. That's why I say he had so much influence. He was our same age, but he was like wise and old, like old, old and mature, like. But he was cool, strong as ox, you know. And he was well loved. He was a real good-natured dude. Real good-natured dude.
From what I understand, Larry Kimmons got shot up at Pepperdine
Yeah,
University.
Pepperdine, yeah.
You know what happened to him up there?
I wasn't there, but I heard a little bit of it, like when things used to happen, man, something else happened the next day. You know, but anyway, they was running, you know, they was up at Pepperdine, they was messing around, you know. We used to get into anything and try to find something else to get into. So, it was on there getting into the stupid rent-a-cop. He confronted him, from what I heard, and he shot. He shot Larry. Sure did.
You remember when that was?
That had to be in, I think we came back to the 8th grade, I think. And that's when he did it, was it? Or maybe the 8th and 9th, which would put that at 67 or something like 68. 67 or 68. Yeah. That's when I think that happened. Things clog up. Mom, if I know it was gonna be like this, I'd have wrote notes. Yeah, all along the way.
Yeah, I've heard Larry Kimmons' name come up a couple times, but he was taken away from us so young.
Yeah, he was a great dude, man. I ain't gonna never let his name go. He was a great dude. Sure was. Yeah, just in that little time he spent here, like we still singing his name. He's unforgettable. He was our guy. Yeah, sure was. That big gap-toothed grin. Yeah, sure did.
So that at some point, did the Sportsman Park Boys and the West Side Crips started to like butt heads, and it got a little bit of tension?
No, like I say, the last Sportsman Park Boy to not resist, but to be dealing with that was Allen Ennis. You know, he was trying to protect the neighborhood, you know, but there wasn't basically no use, and he did to a certain extent. He was busting all over the place. But anyway, like I say, by that time, the brothers had went on, you know, it went on. Like, they got cars and stuff. We didn't hang out at the park no more. Really, I'm telling you the truth. It wasn't, but like it was a combination of that, maturity, which was maturity, and time to go. I mean, you know what I mean? It never got to no confrontation, no real confrontation, because it wasn't, people, like I say, everybody I know got sense, you know, it don't make no sense. When you see 150 little dudes coming across the thing in white t-shirts and Levi's, croaker sacks, and beanies, you talking about fighting? Not a chance. And that's the whole concept. That's the whole concept. Numbers count. I think Brother Tookie said that in his little book. They do count, you know what I mean? And, you know, at some point, you know, people they were going to be grown men, and so they had to do what they had to do. Dati grew up right straight across the street. We could look in each other's door. You know, I know his mama and daddy, good. I was pallbearer for his daddy. But Dati was a rover. You know, basically, from the start, him and Baker, he was rolling. He'd get loaded and roll. It was a wrecking crew, you know, so before Dati passed about 4 years ago, he told me, man, I can't stop squad, but he was still fighting. He was still fighting. He said, I can't stop, you know, but I was with him when he passed about this year. Was it this year or last year? This year, I just forget. Yeah, I went to LA and I went and seen him, and before I could get home, he had passed. Pam called me and said he had passed. But Dati, like, he knew all the park boys and everything, but he didn't hang. He used to hang more at St. Andrews. Yeah, he sure did, but he never did get fully affiliated.
But he wasn't one of those pushover guys in the streets.
Not a chance.
So
not a chance. So let me tell you this. Now that's why I think basically Tookie got his end like, cause Tookie wasn't scared to mix it with nobody. He didn't know he wasn't supposed to mix it with Dati, you know what I mean? And so when he mixed it up with Dati, you know, they say, man, this homeboy fight anybody, you know, which, you know, and so he didn't have no success with Dot, but they tell me, but he held his own, whatever. And like at that time, he was just a regular sized dude, you know. And so that was the last he was of that size. Cause I remember when I first met him, he was like, seemed like he was short dude to me.
Tookie.
Yeah, but then, you know, people were still growing then. You know, he grew a little taller. And then he started driving and things, and that helped you get taller too, or whatever.
Who kind of brought Tookie around and started introducing him to everyone?
I think Donald did. Yeah, I think Donald did. But like, first time I laid eyes on Tookie, they came up to the park. I was up there chilling. I was over there by the bleachers at the Pee Wee Diamond, which is at the southeast corner of the park. And so they came. I know for a fact that Bub and Erskine was there. I guess Donald was too. Maybe Cuz was too. I'm not sure. I guess they were. But anyway, I remember the day because we got to squab and play squab like we always did and mixing it up, you know. And so I wound up getting Erskine in a headlock and I wasn't trying to let him go. And I looked over and Tookie was laughing. He was tripping, you know. That was the last time. That's the memory of him. The first time, second time I looked at him.
Thanks for watching StreetGangs.com. Please like and share the video you just watched and leave a comment below to tell us what you think. You can also watch 2 of our previous episodes to the right. Please visit the link to our Patreon page and support our campaign. And don't forget to subscribe.